We are Team 4 and we chose Goal 7 for our UN project. I'm Lily Barlow.
I'm Jaden Chung.
And I'm Jarek DiGiuswoldo.
Goal 7 is about ensuring universal access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. As for our targets, we chose target 7.1, which is by 2030 is ensuring universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. And then as for the indicators, we chose indicators 7.11 and 7.12. And when we go and look at our infographic that we created, there's a little bit of description of both. 1.1 measures the percentage of the population with access to electricity, while 1.2 tracks the percentage of households using clean cooking fuels and technologies. When implementing this information into our algorithm, we started off with a greet command that we created, and then we had the user choose a country, which was China or Ethiopia, and to learn about their energy usage. It then displayed the information of whichever country was chosen, and then once that information was learned about from the user, it went into asking about if they were ready for a quiz. If the user said yes, then it proceeded to a 5-question quiz. If they said no, then it proceeded back to a country selection so they could learn more information. Again, with the quiz, there was 5 questions. Once the user was done with those 5 questions, it allowed them to see their score, and then the program ended with a goodbye message. As for our results and our future steps, the results of the algorithm prompted user engagement and educated users on energy data and kind of just gave them interactive content to use. And then it also had a knowledge assessment with that 5-question quiz at the end. As for future steps with our program, we could expand our content by adding more countries or topics. We could also incorporate feedback from quiz performance. And lastly, we could also have dynamic difficulty and adjust our quiz based on user performance as well. And then a little bit more in-depth version of the algorithm, again, starts with the greeting of the user, goes into country selection, and then information about each country, and goes into the quiz, the 5 questions, the score, and then the goodbye message.
So this is our main code. Uh, right here is our user function. It is essentially it's a brief summary of what our code does. Our code is 254 lines long, and this is how it starts. So after you click the run button, you are asked to input numbers 1, 2, and 3. If you do not put numbers 1, 2, and 3, it will just exit, and it would just keep asking for the numbers 1, 2, and 3. And once you input those numbers, you'll be asked to type numbers 1 or 2. Numbers 1 is asking for Ethiopia, and number 2 is for China. So in this case, I'll just click number 1 for Ethiopia. And our graph in our code here essentially shows a brief summary, like a fact, and it shows our code, shows another fact, and this one is cost. The first one was accessibility. And the third one here is just how much energy is consumed. And there, after each description, it shows a graph. So this one is access to electricity. This one is renewable versus electricity consumption in the country. And there's two other graphs here. And after that, you are asked if you're ready for a quiz. And if you put in yes, the quiz will start. So I'm gonna just go through this real quick. So I'm gonna put in B, A, C, D, and D again. And at the end, it will show you your score, and it will loop again and ask what other country you would like to explore.
And as for the graphs, they were made utilizing, here, I'll share my screen real quick. We got an Excel file that had all of the data that we needed in it. Let me pull that up real quick. As you see, we had some, this is for figure 5. We had some time graphs to represent the years. We went through and pulled from the data that we had, and we indexed each individual, and we manipulated it into a graph. And that was done individually for each graph. As you can see, we had bar graphs, and we also had stair graphs. Through this, we learned about how to properly convert an Excel to a matrix that can be viewed in MATLAB that is not just in the workspace and can be gotten simply from the file that you're inside of. And through all different kinds of graphs, we got all of our data. And